Hello everyone, this is Dr. Surya. Today we are going to see about the topic dimensional analysis and how to derive dimensions for kinematic quantity and dynamic quantities for some of them. Okay, so what is this dimensional analysis? So this dimensional analysis is called as the method of dimensions. So it is nothing but the method of dimensions, and also that it is also called as unit analysis and also unit factor method, factor label method. So this method is nothing but all the physical quantities will be expressed in other terms of the fundamental dimensions. That is, it's some of the mathematical technique where we are using in our research work for design and also for conducting some model test. Say it is this dimensional analysis is useful in both analytical as well as in experimental work in the study of fluid mechanics. Especially main thing is that we can check the dimensional homogeneity of any equation in fluid motion using this dimensional analysis, and also that we can derive any fluid mechanics equations expressed in terms of non-dimensional parameters to show how they are relatively significant to each and every parameter, and also that we can plan some tests and present some experimental result in a systematic manner, and we can also analyze some complex flow phenomena by using some of the model scales or scale models or model similitude technique. So what are these things actually? Because it is it's simplest, and dimensional analysis is going to be the simplest and most desirable method in the analysis for any fluid problem in that of direct mathematical solution. Okay, so even in very complex also, most problems in fluid mechanics will have some complex phenomena. In such cases mathematical solution is also limited. In that cases we can use this dimensional analysis for obtaining a relationship among various variables that is involved in terms of non-dimensional parameters. Okay, so say for example we can say that it is dealing with the dimensions of physical quantities, and all the physical quantities are measured by comparison. Okay, there are three important dimensions, that is going to be length, mass and time. So length, mass and time is going to be the three important dimensions, and these are called as fundamental dimension or fixed dimension. Fundamental or fixed dimension. So using this only we are going to derive all the things. So it is denoted by L, M and T. So we are going to derive all the terms in term of LMT. Okay, so and second one we call it as a secondary or derived quantities. So this is fundamental one. Next is secondary or derived quantity. So I'll quote you a simple example. Okay, say for example you have to derive the dimension for velocity. What is velocity actually? So velocity or speed is nothing but distance by time taken. Okay, how will you measure your distance? In terms of meter or kilometer or miles, whatever it is, we will be measuring our distance in that. Say simply we can say it that by using, we can denote it by length by time. So length is nothing but L, time is T. So the dimension for velocity is Lt power minus 1. So this is going to be the derived quantity. So this is how we have to derive. Say for example if I go for acceleration. Acceleration is nothing but change in velocity by time. So velocity is nothing but distance by time, and already I have one time here, and distance is measured by meter or kilometer, that is length. So length by time into time, so which is L by T into T. So the derived dimension for acceleration is Lt power minus 2. This is how we have to derive the dimension. So let us see one some of the dimensions we will derive it of. Determine the dimensions of these quantities given below. So there are 7 different quantities of given below, and we are going to derive dimensions for each and every quantity. Okay, so if it is kinematic quantity, means the quantities that is associated with the motion of objects, that is the distance, velocity, acceleration, and these things are called as kinematic quantity. And without, I mean, if the object is not moving and it is staying static, and that is called as our dynamic quantities. Okay, now first we'll derive the dimension for each and everything. So first one is going to be the angular velocity. Okay, the formula for angular velocity is nothing but angle covered in radians divided by time. Okay, for angle we don't have any, that is degree will be the unit, and for time it will be second, and we don't have anything for it, so I'll put 1 by t. So the for angular velocity, the dimension will be t power minus 1. So this will be the dimension for t power minus 1 will be the dimension for angular velocity. Second one will be angular acceleration. Okay, so angular acceleration is nothing but radians per, that is angle covered in radians per second square. That is acceleration is nothing but as you all know, change in velocity by time, right? So angular acceleration is also going to be the angular change in angular velocity by time. That is angular velocity by time will be the acceleration. So this can be written as angular velocity by time. The unit for angular velocity is 1 by t, and for time is also t. So the dimension for angular acceleration will be t power minus 2. Okay, next third one will be our, we are going to derive the dimension for discharge. Discharge will be denoted as q. Q is nothing but AV. A is nothing but area, and V is nothing but velocity. So for area it is length into breadth, and both the terms will be denoted by either in length or breadth, whatever it is, we'll denote it by meter, right? So even if you don't know the formula, but you know the units for everything, that is meter per second or meter square per second. So if you know that, you can use that also to write your dimensions. So for this is meter cube per second. Okay, let it be like this. So for area it is length into breadth, and for velocity it is nothing but distance by time, right? So for length and breadth we used to denote it by meter, breadth is also meter, distance is also meter, divided by time, right? So meter and all we'll denote it by length. It will come under the topic length. So length into length divided by t. So which means L cube t power minus 1. So if it is very difficult for you, you have another option. Say q, the unit for q is meter cube per second. So meter will be denoted by L, that is length, L cube. Second is time, L t power minus 1. So you can derive your units like this also. If you know the units, you can straight away you can substitute. Say for simple, for velocity the unit is meter per second. So meter per second, then velocity will be Lt power minus 1. Likewise also you can derive it off. So whichever you feel comfortable, whichever is you are okay with it, you can do that. So very easily you can do it off. So next, fourth one is kinematic viscosity. Suppose you have asked to derive it, you have to use the formula and derive. And for simply substituting in the problems and all, you can straight away write the unit and you can write directly. So kinematic viscosity, we'll call it as mu. So the formula for mu is that dynamic viscosity by density, that is mu is equal to mu by rho. Okay, so this is the formula for kinematic viscosity, and we have to derive for each and everything. Okay, so first I'll go with density, because that will be an easier one. Density is nothing but mass by volume, right? Mass by volume, that is density. So mass I can write away m. Volume is, we'll denote the unit for volume is meter cube, or else the formula if I take length into breadth into height. So mass divided by length into length into length. So which is density is equal to m by L cube, which is m L power minus 3. So I'll keep this as 1. Okay, so the unit for density is m L power minus 3. Next I have to derive for dynamic viscosity, that is mu. What is this dynamic viscosity? So this dynamic viscosity, the formula I have to take it from shear stress. Shear stress is equal to dynamic viscosity into dou u by dou y. So dynamic viscosity will be equal to shear stress by dou u by dou y. So first I have to get it for shear stress, and then only I have to get it for dou u by dou y. So first shear stress is nothing but stress is force by area, right? Okay, so shear stress by velocity gradient is dynamic viscosity. First we'll determine for shear stress. Shear stress is nothing but force by area. Now I have to get it for force. So what is force? Force is nothing but mass into acceleration. For mass I know it is m. So for acceleration we have to get it off. So what is this acceleration? Acceleration is change in velocity by time, right? So change in velocity is nothing but distance by time into time. So for acceleration it is L by t square, that is L t power minus 2. Let this be 2. So I can substitute 2 in A. Sub 2 in A, which is force is equal to mass into acceleration. So force will be equal to m L t power minus 2. Let this be 3. Okay, now if you go here, shear stress is nothing but force by area. So I'll keep this as B, I'll keep this as C. Okay, so I can substitute now. Instead of tau, I can substitute 3 in B. Substitute 3 in B. That is tau is equal to force by area. So force I have derived as mass into acceleration, which is m L t power minus 2, and area will denote it by meter square, right? So meter square means it is length, that is length into breadth. So it is L square. Okay, so that this L can be cancelled off. So I'll be getting for my force the unit as 1L can be cancelled off, which is m t power minus 2 by L. Okay, so my shear stress will be m L power minus 1 t power minus 2. I'll keep this as 4. Okay, so I have determined for my shear stress. Now I have to get it for my velocity gradient. So what is this velocity gradient? Which is dou u by dou y. So what is this actually? So this is nothing but change of velocity by change of distance. This is called as my velocity gradient. So what is change of velocity? Change of velocity is nothing but length by time, that is distance by time. So I can write it as distance by time, so which is L by T, which is LT power minus 1. And next is change of distance. Change of distance means length. So length is, I can straight away write it as L. Okay. Now dou u by dou y will be equal to L by T into 1 by L, because y is in denominator, so it is going to be 1 by L. So L and L will be cancelled off. So the velocity gradient will be T power minus 1. This I will keep it as 5. Okay. So I have determined for shear stress separately. I have determined for my velocity gradient separately. So now we are going to use all these things and get the value for our kinematic viscosity. That is, I am going to substitute 4 and 5 in C equation. Okay, what is my fourth equation? Fourth equation is tau is equal to ml power minus 1 t power minus 2. So tau is equal to ml power minus 1 t power minus 2. And fifth equation is dou u by dou y will be equal to t power minus 1. So which is m by L t square, and this is 1 by t. Okay, now mu is equal to tau by dou u by dou y. So tau is m by L t square, and dou u by dou y will be equal to 1 by t. So I have to substitute 1 by t here. So it becomes m, this t and this t can be cancelled off, m by Lt. So mu will be equal to m L power minus 1 t power minus 1. Okay, so dynamic viscosity, that is dynamic viscosity dimension is m L power minus 1 t power minus 1. Now what is kinematic viscosity? Kinematic viscosity is nothing but dynamic viscosity by density. So for dynamic viscosity we have derived as m L power minus 1 t power minus 1, and for density we have derived as m L power minus 3, right? So just substitute it. So which is m Lt, and density will be m by L cube, right? So this will be cancelled off. I will be having square here. Okay, this m and this m will be cancelled off. So I will be getting that I will be having 1 by t into 1 by L square. So this L squared can go up, that is L squared by t. So for kinematic viscosity I will be having the dimension as L square t power minus 1. Okay, now next is force. Force we have derived already. Force is equal to mass into acceleration. While deriving for our shear stress itself, we have derived that for force. So straight away I am writing the dimension for force. Force is equal to mass into acceleration, and I will be getting ml t power minus 2, which have been derived already. Next will be specific weight. Specific weight. Specific weight is nothing but weight by volume. So in simple I can write as force by volume. So forces we have derived already, which is ml by t square. Volume is L cube. So 1L will get cancelled off. So I will be having m by L square t square. Therefore, for specific weight, the dimension is m L power minus 2 t power minus 2. And the last one is our dynamic viscosity mu. We have derived that already. So I am straight away writing the dimension m L power minus 1 t power minus 1. So this is how we have to derive the dimensions. And the last concept we'll see in this video is dimensional homogeneity. So what is this dimensional homogeneity? So it means that dimensions on each term in the equation on both sides will be equal. Say for example, if you have a equation called velocity is equal to root 2 gh. So if you have the equation like this, and they have asked us to prove or to determine whether this equation is dimensionally homogeneous or not. So if that is the case, we'll take the left hand side and right hand side. So first I'll take left hand side. So left hand side is going to be our velocity. So velocity, as far as you know, it is distance by time taken, and we have derived that, and the unit will be LT power minus 1. Keep this as A. Next, we'll take the right hand side. The equation is of root of 2gh. Okay. So which is equal to, you can write it in root, 2 into g is acceleration due to gravity, and we have derived that also earlier, which is L, the unit will be meter per second square, right? So meter per second square means L by t square, and h is going to be the head. Generally the head we used to denote it in terms of meter. Meter means we'll denote it as length, that is length. So we can take this as length. So we are not much worrying about this 2 and all those things. We'll worry about the dimensions alone. So I'll take the dimensions alone here, which is L squared by t square. So which is L by t. If I take the root, it becomes L by t, which is L t power minus 1. So this is B. If you take in this equation both A is equal to B, that is V is equal to root of 2gh, you have the dimension in the left hand side to be LT power minus 1, and right hand side is also LT power minus 1. So if this happens, then this equation is called as dimensionally homogeneous equation. Dimensionally homogeneous equation. Okay. So it can be used in any system of units. Thank you and happy learning.